Can you believe it? It's week 6. It's just flown. It's absolutely flown. And have you had fun? Has this been good? Has this been all that you thought and so much more? I hope it's so much more. So week 6 for you is all about food finally. Who would have thought? So by now you've probably seen the others sharing things about food, and you may already be contributing to that. Totally, absolutely fine. Like, there's no real rules. All this is doing is showing you the best way, the most important things about your priorities for you specifically. So don't feel like you've been left out. You've got all the opportunity to share more food. You may already be doing that. Love you for it. So let's get straight into it. Food is the last thing for you to really worry about, but it's really important to just eat the rainbow. Eat every color, texture that you can find. Making a smoothie, why not make them the smoothie in the magic bullet and do like a red one, green one, yellow one, that one, and layer them on top of each other. Have fun and colorful. It's about making food pretty and fun for you. Go find an awesome cafe that does healthy food and makes it all pretty with flowers and crumbling bits and pieces all over the place. Mindgasmic. I love it. You'll see in here a cool little picture that sort of shows you that vegetables are steady throughout the day. Your protein is going to go pretty crazy, and the carbs, they diminish towards the end of the day as well. So really playing witness to that, and it's a really cool guide to go by. You could fast if you wanted to. Your body can tolerate a lot less food without losing muscle mass, but it's something to be conscious of, and don't be fasting for a long time. Maybe like a day or two, but if you want to do that, you need to have that conversation with me. And in the group, there may be some conversations about detoxes that come up, and we can do specific detoxes exactly for you. So let me know if that is you. If you really do want to do that, then you can definitely let me know, and I can accommodate you with all the support you need. So being in a beta state will cause more fatigue if you are not eating correctly for your body. So unless you take measures to calm your brain throughout the day, you will end up quite anxious, and food will then become an annoyance to the body. As much as you're nourishing the body, your body will be in this state of like extreme heightened senses, so you're not going to be absorbing what you need to, so you become overfed and undernourished, if that makes sense. So we really want to make sure that we can get you calm when you're eating. So maybe a 10-minute meditation before, or making sure, this is why we say with connectors, it's really important to sit down with a friend and have conversation with good people whilst you're eating, because it's about the chit chat and it's really calming you, and you get this natural oxytocin sharing whilst you're eating your food, which is so good for you. Have you ever noticed when you stare into a puppy dog's eyes, you just get this natural feel-good feeling? Because dogs naturally are addicted to oxytocin as well. And so when you can do that and connect with the dog, they actually spark more oxytocin and serotonin in your brain. Cool little fun fact. As long as it's not one of those scary chihuahuas that try and bite you when you do it. So it's really about spreading out your food throughout the day. You're going to get some really good information in here. No big meals, little meals frequently. That's it. Grab some support and do this with the team. This is where we're week 6, so I hope you've enjoyed the experience, but this is where maybe you want to start sharing this with some friends, sharing with your family, share the experience, get them on the next one, get them on the next 6-week intensive, so you can really start having the same language and the same conversations and really start to digest everything together and have so much support. Plus which, by the time the next 6-week one starts up again, you might be going, I need some accountability. I want my friends involved in this. I already know what's involved in it, so I'm going to make sure that while they're doing it, I'll reboot again. Cool thought, yeah? So it's all about creating the community and having fun with this. There's also a really cool app called See How You Eat, SHYE. And that one's super cool, super colorful, super visual, and I know you're going to love it. So download that one and share your food porn as much as you like in the group. Like always, because we love food porn. Well, I do. I'm just a weirdo like that. But food is huge for me. I'm a very sensual being. So food is sensual to me. That comes with its own problems for diplomats, so don't you worry about that. Now, let's get into the share space, and I'm going to share with you the screen about your profile. So we're going to log in as normal. Let's come into the foods. So if you haven't already done your chronobiology wheel combining, you may have already looked through some bits and pieces of this, which is totally cool. I love you for that, no worries. Looking at your times of day to be eating and drinking. Just because it says avoid eating, drink here, breakfast, drink, it doesn't mean you're not drinking any other parts of the day. I drink all day long. I have a nice tea here that I've been brewing. I drink all day. For most of us, we need to be drinking way more water than we think. But for me, I know that when it says drink, it means that that's when my body's going through a hormone shift, and it's imperative that I hydrate my body as much as possible. That's really what that means in there. Gives me my breakfast times in here, which yours will be different. So onto that. Now let's get into the detailed schedule. Your detailed schedule is going to show you a little more in depth of what sort of things to be eating at those sorts of times. So if you look at mine, it says, your body gains energy throughout the day, likes beginning gradually and building up energy. So breakfast isn't really that, needs to be not hard on the metabolic system. So something like maybe if I want an orange or a smoothie, or and a smoothie, by that I mean some orange, some berries, some seeds or nuts, some spinach, some kale, maybe a tomato or two in there. It's not bulk ass fruit and some milk. It's actually taking together a lot of the main current nutrition things that you really need in your diet that are top of your list, and squeezing them into a puree so that you can consume them easily and digest them easily. That's me. Might be a tip for your smoothies that you'll be creating. Find ways of hiding the things you may not always like to have. Maybe it's adding some avocado. Maybe it's adding in some into your smoothies. Maybe it's adding some cooked sweet potato or roasted vegetables into your smoothies. They create a really creamy consistency. It's amazing. Maybe you're going to hide some tomatoes, or maybe you're hiding some spinach and kale, or some cooked leek, or cooked cauliflower, or cooked broccoli. You could be throwing those sorts of things in there. Even raw is fine. Get creative. Test yourself. Try different flavors. So in here, it will show you a bit more of a plan, like I said. When you come along the top here, you'll see there was the overview we were in, which when you scroll down a bit further, there's a direct guide to the recipes and the food guide, which we'll get into in a second. This week's tip, which will quite often pop up on your phone, your top seeds, top foods, sea urchins. It's a funny one. This is an American site, so there may be some things that pop up in here that aren't actually legal in Australia or really aren't easy to find in Australia. Have a laugh at those ones. And it's going to give you, at the moment, the definite no-nos. Don't touch them. Get away. So let's first jump into your food guide. So you know how in the dietary of Australia, dietitians thing of Australia, they've got the food pyramid. It's a crock of shit. It's totally not relevant to any health type, because there's one health type that it comes close to, but the rest of us, nah. This is your own food pyramid. So for me, it's vegetables, then green leafy vegetables. So this is the bottom of the pyramid, the bottom up. So for me, most important is vegetables, green veggies, root veggies, beans, legumes, fruit, dried fruit, and then comes in my animal protein. So you can see how important these things actually are. So that one's gonna be great. Gives you some really good tips on why they're important, how they should be served or stored, and what quantities or times of the day. So for me, try to eat 1 serve of green leafy vegetables every day at lunch or dinner. Cool, good tip. Know how to plan my day out then. I've also got a more extensive one. So we're just lightly going through this at the moment, but you will also see in the group that I have a very a very in-depth way of planning out your food program utilizing a spreadsheet. So if you feel like you're someone who needs a lot more detail and a lot more, and maybe you look through the recipe list in here and you're like, nah. Maybe you'd like to try Google and know how to navigate that and take normal recipes and tweak them into your health type. This will be a good conversation to have, but you'll want to see that recording that I have, and I'll make sure that's available to you. The next thing I want you to have a look at is food preparation. This will show you, when preparing the food you're eating, what is most important and best for you at the moment. This will change with the seasons. This food section will continuously chop and change. So make sure you're checking in with this. So for me, raw unprocessed foods is going to tell me why it's good for me. I can also read more into the tips, the warnings, why it's on your food list, and so much more. This is an extraordinary section of the program. Then coming in here to your food list. So this one here, as that's loading, when you first come in, that's going to tell you the holy grail of what's important for you right now. So for me, my very, very top priority is leeks, thyme, lentils, basil, and broccoli. My brain automatically goes, some kind of a lentil hot pot. Look at that, kale, garlic, Brussels sprouts. Maybe it's a lentil stir fry, but a lentil casserole sounds even better again. So I instantly look at that and go, what can I do? What can I make that has as much of that in it, so that when I eat that meal, I know that my body is just like, OMG. And I also know from the preparation section that it's saying as much raw as I can. So as much of that I can eat raw, I will. Anything that I want to cook, I'm going to steam it. And there's something that's baked that I can bake, maybe I'll bake some of it. So my dish or my salad or whatever it is that I choose to eat is going to be, maybe I do the hot pot and I decide that I'm going to also chop in there some grated carrot, and I'm also going to chop through that some raw spinach, chop through it, or some raw greens of some kind. Maybe I'm going to add in the cooked side of things plus the fresh side of things. So I'm going to have both of them. Pretty cool, yeah? I hope so. I hope so. Now in this section of here, you can go through and select foods to eat, foods to avoid, favorite foods, or all the foods. You can also search by types of vegetables, grains, meats, seafoods, nuts, drinks, blah, 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 all the way through that and get specific, add the filter, and away you go. You can also go along here and search out, let's go, there you go, cod. Do I have cod in my list? I wonder. Go, enter, boom. There's cod. Now in this is also really good because it will show you in each of these your average portion size, the glycemic index if it's relevant, the calories per 100 grams if it's relevant, and if you hover over this, it will say it is a great nutritional benefit for you and can be eaten 4 to 5 times a week. So when I'm planning out my week, I can go, cod's one I can have 4 to 5 times a week. Maybe I'll do that for 5 of my lunches, or maybe 2 of my breakfasts and 3 lunches. That's a pretty easy way to plan out my week. And then maybe it's lentil and I put the cod on top of the lentils for 2 breakfasts, or whatever it might be. I'm just giving you ideas. The second section here is you can print out your entire list or certain parts of your list. You can also go into this setting here and go, my allergies, if you have any, and foods I do not like. Fine. If you absolutely cannot stand having it, it's going to make you ill, add them in here so you don't see them. If it distresses you to see them in the list, take them out. Simple. Then what you can do is come over here to the recipe section. And this is going to have a great guide to, all right, well, here we go. Okay, so there's a bunch of recipes that are going to come up as excellent. And I can change the filters in here. So down the left-hand side, search my recipes for a certain recipe, or maybe I want to find a certain ingredient. Like I want to find a bunch of recipes that use leek, or a bunch of recipes that use thyme. I can add that ingredient in there, and it brings out everything that's relevant. Or you can search by main dishes, desserts, appetizers, cuisines. You can take these and click on them. Now, you are an adult, and you have full capability of going into these recipes and going, oh my God, there is cheese in this recipe and I know I can't have cheese. Don't have it. Or change it out for something else. Or maybe you need to put nutritional yeast in there, or maybe the recipe says to have wombok, but you know that wombok is a red in your list. Swatch it out for some cabbage, mate. Have a look and see if cabbage is green is right. Have a look if broccoli is right. Change it out for something else that you know is in your good list. Try and eat as much from the green color list as possible. Next, you also have a weekly planner, which will also auto-populate itself straight up, but you can delete, chop and change. It doesn't do the breakfast, so you can go through and find those. You can print them, you can add it to the basket, you can create a shopping list from it. You can do whatever you want with this. There is so much, but I'm going to give you guys a much more in detailed version than I do using a spreadsheet for those that really like to be like, they want not rigid so much, but they like to have a full spectrum plan. That will be a good one. I think that's enough for today. How do you feel? Does that look pretty damn awesome? The other one is the shopping basket. So if you tick different ingredients and different recipes, they will show up in the shopping basket and you'll be able to print them. I hope you see how much this is supporting you, how it's the last priority, because now you're having all the fun, you're probably making better choices, you're probably moving more, feeling greater, and capable of making really good aligned decisions. And leaving it to the last week means you're not going to be overloaded by this. This was the last priority to look at. We've taken care of all the mental stuff, all the fun stuff, all the stuff that supports you to be able to take this on, love it, nourish it, and enjoy it as much as possible. How's that sound? Make sure that this week you're in the share space and you're doing hashtag connectors and hashtag food, and share a bit of food inspiration. Love you to pieces. I love this journey, and I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful you've lasted all this time. I can't wait to see yourself, your family, your friends all go through this and experience just how awesome this platform is, just how awesome the science is, and how community, nourishment, acceptance, knowledge, they are imperative for your happiness. And no one needs to be treated the same, because you're all amazing as you are. Thank you.